No way. For sake. Why's this always got to happen to me? Well, I certainly hope that this footage is recording properly, and I don't just mean video and audio, I mean the angle of the camera, because as you've just seen, yes, I managed to break part of my GoPro mount, part of the mount that is on my helmet, and this mount has been on my helmet, well, for the whole time that I've been doing YouTube, which has been about 12 months now. And even before that, I was doing a couple of videos, practice videos in preparation for YouTube. So this mount's probably been on there about 18 months. So I get home from work only 2 days ago. It's Thursday night. I get home from work, I'm putting my gear away, I put the screw back into this part of the GoPro mount once the GoPro was off, and snap, mount breaks. Without any pressure, the mount just breaks. I think maybe it had been weathered from riding through the winter, and there's me thinking that consequences of riding through the winter, you know, what I'm going to have to deal with was just going to be the rain, the misery, and the rusty chain. But perhaps this mount did weather from riding through the winter, and it broke. And it's difficult because when something like that happens, sometimes you can't help but feel a certain way, and sometimes you react like, man, why the fuck does this keep happening to me? F YouTube, F my life, F this, that and the other. I'm done with all this shit. And that takes me on to point number one. You can't control your reaction. And one constant in life, one constant truth that you'll never get away from, is that shit happens. And shit does happen. Shit happens to all of us. And when this GoPro mount broke, I felt the anxiety raising within me, and you can't help it. It's a natural reaction. You know, it's Thursday night, I'm filming Saturday morning. Like, where the hell am I going to get a GoPro mount from? You know, why is this happening to me, etc. Where am I going to get a GoPro mount from? I've got less than 2 days before I'm filming. So something that I've been doing, and believe me, it took me a while to learn this one, because that initial reaction, sometimes you can't help it. You know, shit happens and you can't help sometimes the way that you react. It's a natural thing. You have to teach yourself. You have to teach yourself the truth. The harsh truth is that you won't always be able to control every single thing that happens in your life. But you can control your reaction. It takes some doing, it takes some learning. You know, it takes some learning to get to that point where you don't fly off the handle, where you actually can, you know, you do control your reaction. So something that I've been doing, something that I learned to do, was to see it as an opportunity to fix something. Now, I am a fixer. I refer to myself as an engineer quite often. You know, I can't help it. It's who I am. I like to fix things. And sometimes what I'm fixing is a mechanical thing, a motorbike, a car, etc. Sometimes it's something at work, a process that doesn't work properly. Let's get that fixed. Sometimes it's me. Sometimes I'm broken. You know, there are times when we as people are broken and we need to work on ourselves. So the GoPro mount breaks, I catch that anxiety, and I stop myself and I think to myself, right, how can I fix this? I have less than 2 days, I don't have a spare. Where can I get a GoPro mount from within the next day and a half? Maybe Amazon. So I think Amazon, I think maybe I can, let's jump on Amazon and have a look. Have they got one? Can I get it on a next day delivery? We jump on Amazon. Yes, they've got one. In fact, it's Amazon. They've got several. Amazon have got several. So can we get it on a next day delivery? Yes, we can. Banging. Let's get it then. Let's get this on a next day delivery for Friday so that we can still get out filming with this beast of a 125 Saturday morning. Problem solved. This GoPro mount did not have to fuck up the rest of my evening, did not have to ruin my life, and it didn't have to get me all worked up over a piece of plastic. So another thing that happens to me the other day, I get home with the bike, I'm putting the bike away, and I see something on his master cylinder. I'm thinking, what is that? What is that on his master cylinder? It looks like, is that a hair? Is that a scratch? Could that be leaking brake fluid? Oh man, I don't want to have to deal with leaking brake fluid. Now, it probably looks like absolute shit now, but at the time, that was just the slightest of lines. It really did look like a scratch. I thought maybe it's brake fluid. So just in case it was brake fluid, I gets me a rag and I wiped it. It takes a whole bunch of paint off with it. Now I've got paint missing at the top, the bottom. That line is so visible now. Yeah, it was leaking brake fluid. I didn't want to have to deal with that shit. And you know, sometimes you just have to get it out. You know, get it all out, get all that, F this, F that, F the other. Get the whole lot out there so that emotion's not going to overrule you. But don't live there. Don't live in that mindset. Just get that shit out. And then, as Austin Powers says, you've got to regroup and come up with a new plan. Now, I'd like to address a couple of things here. First of all, there used to be a little hole in this pocket, and it appears to have ripped. My phone has just gone down inside the liner. Man, why does this shit always happen to me? Etc, etc. No, we're not even going there. What can I do about it? Well, it's been a while since I had to sew anything. Looks like I'm getting the needle and thread out when I get home to fix that problem. But what I'd like to address, what I'd like to say is, I appreciate that everything in life is relative. It's relative to your situation. I don't know what you're going through, what you've been through, what kind of a life you've had. Everything in life is relative. But I'll also say this, in my life, I have met some amazing people. I've met some people who have been struggling with their life. They've been struggling with their lot in life. They've been struggling with their mental health. They've been at quite low points in their life. And I'll tell you this, some of them still encourage other people. Like, the beauty of that, to not the beauty of being at a low point in your life, but the integrity it takes to be at a low point in your life and still have the strength of mind to encourage other people is beautiful. That's a sign of a strong man. That's a sign of a strong person, to be rooting for others when you're struggling to root for yourself. And on the topic of encouraging other people, YouTube comments. First of all, I'd like to say thank you to my subscribers and my viewers, and to those people who take the time to leave a comment on my video. The majority of my comments that I get left, they are positive and encouraging, and I really appreciate it. I also appreciate the people who feel that they are able and confident enough to leave me constructive criticism, because there may be something that I could do better. There may be something that I've done in a video on a vehicle that I've forgotten. And the thing is, if someone's doing something wrong and no one tells them, then they're forever going to be doing it wrong. But again, it's about how it's perceived, how it's received. But the majority of the comments that I get left on YouTube are positive. There's the occasional one or two, like one that I had last week, that said something like, "Why is it always depressing to watch this man?" And that takes me on to point number 2. You hate on others. If you're the kind of person that hates on others, then that reflects more about you than it does them. Like I say, most of the comments I receive are positive. You know, these people aren't hating on me at all. They appreciate me, they appreciate my content, and they've taken the time to let me know this. And what you have to realise when someone is hating on someone else, it's coming from a place of weakness. You know, it comes from something in their life that they're unhappy about, or maybe it's their entire life. But there's something in their life, there's something about them, there's something that's not going well, and they feel the need to hate on others. So having read that comment, and for a few seconds there felt a certain way about it, I stopped myself. I almost messaged them back and said, "Look man, you're clearly going through some stuff, and I feel sorry for you. You know, I hope whatever it is that you deal with it, and you can get to a point where you can be happy again and positive, and don't feel the need to drop hate comments on random people's videos." But even that would have been a little bit passive aggressive. And yes, I could have responded with "F this, F that, you don't know what you're talking about, and F you man." But instead, I remembered point number 1, that I do have control of my reaction. That was a nice VW T5 there. I do like a T5. And that one's really nice. You know, I could say, oh well, he's only got that T5 because I don't know, he was born into money. You hear this sometimes. He was born into money. He was given an opportunity at 17. He's raided daddy's bank account. He's won the lottery. And that takes me on to point number 3. You don't own your shit. Tell me if this sounds familiar. Oh, that dude's only got that car because his dad bought it for him. That dude's only got that girlfriend because he's 6'4" and he's got money. Oh man, if I had a boss who gave me those opportunities, then I'd have money, and I'd have a nice house, and I'd have a nice car, bike, etc, etc. But that's not who you are. That's not your shit. You gotta own your shit. You gotta own your own shit. There's always going to be someone in life doing better than you are. There's going to be someone in life greater than you. It doesn't matter how much you climb up that ladder. I watch some highly successful YouTubers that have got, you know, 1 million subscribers, 3 million subscribers, and I have 360. And I appreciate every single one of those 360, don't get me wrong. But I'm not hating on the guy that's got 1 million subscribers, because he earned 1 million subscribers. I didn't earn 1 million subscribers, so I'm not going to be hating on him. I'm going to be owning my shit. Someone asked me, what do you do in your spare time? I make YouTube videos. There's no embarrassment there. Much like when I used to ride a 125. Well, I still do ride a 125. We'll see what happens with Laren in the near future. But I rode this 125 for, well, I think I worked out yesterday it had been exactly 5 years since I did my first CBT. Yeah, 5 years ago I did my first CBT. That ran for 2 years, didn't ride for a year, got back on CBT. Whenever that was, must have been just over a year that I didn't ride, because I got back on CBT August 2021, and did my test, passed my test in January of this year, and I'm still riding a 125. So if someone asks me, what bike do you ride? YZF F125, mate. No embarrassment, don't feel any way about it, I'm just owning that shit. I might be at bike night or paint and bike meet on the Sunday, and I was talking to a guy, and he had a big bike. I don't know what it was now, can't remember, but he asked me what I rode. YZF F125, mate. And we just got to talking about 125s. You know, what are you doing in your spare time? I make YouTube videos. What do you drive? Peugeot 106 Quiksilver. And sometimes you tell people these sorts of things and they go, what? Like they're surprised that you're driving a 20-year-old car when you're 43, and I would say I'm earning a decent wage. You know, or how long you been riding? 5 years. What do you ride? YZF F125. What are you doing? But yeah, you got to own your shit. I own my shit. Let me tell you, something amazing happened to me this morning. Yes, something amazing happened to me this morning. I woke up. That is all. I woke up. You know what? We don't all get to say that today. And we're not all going to get to say it tomorrow.